the Miss England pageant is bringing back bikini.
Pageant.
The Miss England, how do you say it? Pageant.
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 Is that how you say it?
Why do you make it sound so weird?
But what did I say? Pageant.
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 No, pageant.
Well, that stupid Miss England thing is bringing back bikinis. So they're bringing back bikinis.
What do you mean bringing back bikinis?
They had removed bikinis from...
Really?
Yeah, they had taken it out for some reason. I guess when everyone became too woke, they were like, oh, yeah, we can't sexualize women like that. So they're bringing it back now. Obviously, there's been some backlash from feminists, because of course there would be. And we're going to watch Piers Morgan debate these women, which is always fun.
The lovely Piers Morgan.
We do love Piers Morgan here.
Piers Morgan should get us on his Uncensored.
No, not for now. I'm happy reacting to him. But do you know one thing I've noticed before we react to this? You always see people in the comment section saying, oh my God, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Piers Morgan. But I'm like, we've been agreeing with Piers Morgan for like 4 years now. I get the guy did some shit before, and I get he can be a bit annoying, but Piers Morgan has a lot of base takes.
Piers Morgan, I think, just spits facts.
He spits facts.
Spits facts.
I think Piers Morgan's had a lot of good takes. Ever since I started watching him on Good Morning Britain, I think in the early days I was like, this guy's annoying. But as it went on, other than his relentless attacks on Meghan and Harry, I don't like Meghan and Harry myself, but sometimes he goes overboard with it. I quite like Piers Morgan. I can't lie to you guys.
I think the fact that he is not even doing Good Morning Britain anymore, and he has to just have his show like on YouTube, just shows how much facts he talks, because people like him have to get silenced because he says things that a lot of people are too scared to say.
Yeah, he has been pushing back against cancel culture, against woke culture, so I have to commend him for that. We haven't always been on his side. Like we did the Andrew Tate video where he had Andrew Tate on, and obviously he said what he said, and I think he retracted it. But all in all, I think Piers Morgan is actually pretty entertaining. He has good takes.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. The Miss England contest has revealed it could restore its bikini competition after 20 years of self-censorship. The pageant used to feature a swimwear round for budding beauties to showcase their physical fitness, but it was banned in 2002 amid claims of sexism. Well, earlier this year, Miss Northern Ireland ditched its bikini round over concerns it was distracting from the true meaning of the contest, which suggests to me they didn't understand the true meaning of the contest. But Angie Beasley, the director of Miss England, says she's refusing to bow down to the woke brigade as she mulls the big decision, adding, it's great to be empowering women to feel confident in their own skin. So is this firebrand feminism or just Stone Age sexism? And what, frankly, is so offensive about bikinis? Well, I'm joined by the former Miss US.
What is so offensive about bikinis?
I don't know.
Do you know what confuses me? On one hand, we applaud women like Cardi B for going out on TV and talking about their waps and sexualizing their own bodies. And on the other hand, you have girls on like the Formula One grid or the UFC ring where they walk around in like bikinis or whatever, or, you know, scantily clad clothes, and then they get shit on. So I'm just like, but all of these people that are out on stage flaunting their stuff in front of millions of people, we clap for them, Sam Smith included. But then bikinis, for some reason, is a problem.
Yeah, and I don't think they're right in where they're saying it's taking it away from the overall context of a beauty pageant, because it's not. It's a beauty pageant. It's about looking good.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, your body does fall into that as well.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, that's the whole point. To look good. Yeah. I mean, we're not just looking at the face right of these models. We're looking at everything. So I don't really understand what the problem is. I don't think it's sexist. I don't think it's misogynistic. And I also think that a lot of people that are against it are hypocritical, because they would applaud these women sexualizing themselves. And then on top of that, a lot of these girls say, oh, we like doing this. We like being F1 grid girls. We like being UFC ring card girls. We like wearing these things. And you get other girls telling them, no, you don't like it. You shouldn't wear it. It's just like, where is... I don't understand where feminism is right now.
I mean, I don't even want to sound dumb saying this, but I don't think that it is sexualizing.
No, it's just people overreacting.
People are just being very, 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 very sensitive for no reason. And I don't think that things that have been such a... like something of the past should just be getting removed or changed or stopped because people are too sensitive. Like, no, let's just continue to live life.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? Do you know what I think the next level is? You know when like they do the Arnold Classic and the guys come out on stage and like they're basically wearing thongs, you can see everything, and they're doing their poses. I guarantee you some idiot's going to be like, that's too sexual, cover them up. When the whole point of it is to admire the work of their bodies, which is kind of in line with these bikini girls, because you're not going to win Miss England if you're going to the brownie store every day, not working out, not looking after your body. You're going to win Miss England because you've got the most banging in shape body and you look like physically appealing to the eyes.
But this is another thing as well. Like when you work hard to look good like that, why should you not be able to sort of show it off? You know what I'm saying? Like if you had an artist who spent days working on a piece of art, painting a picture, are they supposed to not show it off afterwards? All that hard work that they did, that they're proud of. I know you can't really compare it, but it kind of is the same thing. They've worked hard on their body. It looks good. They want to show it off. So what?
Well, the thing is that like the argument of women covering up or whatever, people can have that conversation, but I just don't understand what the point is in the Miss England, like in this context specifically, when it's meant to be admiring these women for their physical form. So,
say Sarah Rose Summers, and Ivana Knoll, the former Miss Croatia, and a feminist campaigner and current Miss North London. I've given her that title, Julie Bindle. All right, Julie, let me start with you, Miss North London, which I'm sure you would have won if you'd ever entered. What's your problem with this? I never understood why they took it away.
I'm sorry for pausing, but can we just look at the panel of women on there and then who has a problem with it? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. This isn't even your fight. You're not in this fight. What is the problem here? Nobody's asking you to get into a bikini. I don't mean to be a prick.
Well, let's hear what she has to say.
I thought the whole point of beauty pageants was the name on the tin suggests it was about physical beauty, and we got to celebrate the beautiful female form. Who cares?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with celebrating beauty. There's nothing wrong with women's own definition of beauty. The problem is pitting women against each other competitively and men deciding who is conventionally attractive in the sense of the very sexist stereotypes.
Well, hang on, and women.
That girls grow up under the cosh of.
And women used to watch them and still do.
Of course, but there's no...
Why are you singling out men?
There's little point putting... Because there's little point using women as a smokescreen to suggest that... Because of course I agree that women have the right to do what they wish with their own bodies. There's no point suggesting that this is about women and women's empowerment and agency. When this comes from men, this comes from the directive that women's worth should be measured with conventional beauty. Like I say, I have no issue with women.
What is it? Okay, let me challenge you on this.
I'm sorry, is someone getting a gun and putting it to these women's throats and saying, enter Miss England, or the beauty contest or whatever it's called? If these girls don't want to enter and they feel like they're being objectified, there's the door. Yeah. Go over there. No one's telling you to enter it. We're not in a country where women are forced to do this, forced to take off their clothes.
This is the point. If people want to partake in it, then they're not being sensitive and they want to do it. Let them do it. Just because you don't like it, A, you don't have to watch it, and B, it's not affecting you because you're not involved.
The problem is because a man owns the whole thing. That's the problem. That's the real problem, because the people at the top are guys. Shocker.
All right, look at this, yeah. Dan Bilzerian.
Right.
Yeah. He's a man. He has his own business and whatever, and he's kind of like, huh?
Oh, I was just saying his pronouns.
Oh, okay.
You said he's a man.
Yeah.
Just making sure everyone knows.
And he is kind of like the new age Hugh Hefner. And he always has all these girls with him. It is over-sexualized, whatever. But these girls want to be there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of girls who would probably like give up everything just to be there and be with him. He essentially owns it, this whole business, and having these girls with him. Not saying he owns the girls before people put words in my mouth, but do you know what I'm saying? It's his thing, it's his lifestyle, and that's sort of his image. And a lot of people might have a problem with that, because of the way it is sort of sexualized, that he's this guy and he's with all these girls. But them girls want to be there and they're choosing to be there. So everyone complaining doesn't need to complain, because it's other people's life choices.
No one put a gun to these girls' heads and told them to go sign up to Dan Bilzerian's boat parties or whatever it was. They went there because they want to be there.
Yeah, probably because they like the lifestyle. I don't know.
Because they like the lifestyle. Most young girls are going to want to be on a boat out at sea with some rich guy.
Oh my God, it looks amazing every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be at sea every day. I'm not a pirate, but it does look. I mean, his parties look like fun. I mean, if he invited me to the party, I would go just to see what it's like.
It's not even about the parties, because I'm not a party person, but just I don't know, just waking up on the yacht, you've got all that food there. They're always just doing fun things. Like, it looks so good.
Oh, this feminist is going to come right for your neck.
Honestly, probably. The
thing that I don't understand is that if we lived in a country that forced women to, look a certain way and be a certain way for men, then this could be an argument that you could have. But nobody is forcing these girls. Unless some documentary comes out on Netflix where all these girls were sent letters saying, we're going to kill your mum if you don't enter Miss America or whatever.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say that?
Yeah.
That's the only way that it's going to justify this BS. Girls want to do this, let them do it. As a matter of fact, look how one of the girls is dressed on the Piers Morgan show. She knows what she's doing.
She looks good.
She does look good. They both look good.
Yeah, two types of women.
Yeah.
What is wrong with celebrating conventional beauty? I used to love watching Miss World and those things.
Look, the competitiveness of these beauty competitions is sexism on steroids.
They're competitions to see who's the most
women against
beautiful.
each other and saying,
it's the whole point of it.
Women lose and women win. And this is exactly how women are socialised, to feel worth.
I'm sorry, what happens in competitions? People win and people lose. When they go up for the Arnold, when they go up for the natural lift or whatever, there are winners and losers. A bunch of guys get out on stage in thongs and they stand there posing for 15 minutes. And the hard work of the guy that finished in 10th place is superseded by someone like Chris Bum, I think his name is, where he's basically like New Age Arnold, right? He's all those guys have put in the work, but he looks the best. So you're pitting guys against guys. They're spending their whole lives getting these insane physiques. Like, if you see this guy's physique, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but I'll be real. Like, we spoke about it before, like Mike Thurston. Like, he's got the dream body, but I don't really like it. Can't lie.
Well, I mean, that's obviously subjective, but
yeah, it is subjective. But on a side note, like, the way Piers talks is so funny to me.
Look at this guy's physique. Even if you're not attracted to that, that is an insane amount of hard work.
Do you think that that's all natural and no steroids?
No, I don't think he's natural. But even if you're not natural, to gain a body like that, he looks like a character from Baki the Grappler. Literally straight from an anime. His physique is so insane. But guess what? All the other guys that are on stage with him also have insane physiques. But there's only one winner. They pit all those guys against each other. They walk out in thongs. That's basically a thong. You can see his whole buttocks. You can see everything.
Buttocks.
So why is it a problem when the women do it? What is the issue exactly? Again, nobody's forcing these girls to go up on stage and, stand there in their underwear for people to vote on. If all these women didn't like it, they didn't have to be there.
I mean, people do it these days for free and just post pictures of them in bikinis on Instagram. So why not put it to good use and actually make, I don't know,
something of yourself?
Yeah.
Less compared to
come off it,
conventionally
Julie. You
attractive
don't
women.
believe
A
this.
beauty standard that is set by men. Without sexism, we wouldn't have Miss World.
Last time I checked,
and also, if you think about what happens in these competitions,
Julie,
there are so many women.
Last time I checked, millions of women watch these competitions on TV too. They love them.
It's irrelevant.
Why is that irrelevant?
What I'm talking about is because it's about the message that it sends to girls, to women in society, that this is something that happens.
You have to wear loads of clothes, otherwise.
First of all, I don't think that beauty standards are set by men, because I think women are each other's biggest critiques, and I think the standard is mainly set by women. But what I want to say is, yes, I want everyone to feel beautiful. It's a big thing to me. However, I think there does need to come this acceptance, which I've had to come to terms with accepting. We've even had this conversation before off camera. In life, there is going to be different levels of women. You know, you are going to have your sort of higher rated ones, then you're going to have your sort of more average ones, and then you might have your sort of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to look at myself and be like, yeah, I'm on the same level as somebody like Margot Robbie, because I'm not, and I never will be. And it comes with that acceptance of knowing that. Yes, there's personal preference and stuff, but it just is, it's not to make other women feel bad about themselves because they don't look this way. And I don't think it's creating a beauty standard, because some of us are just never going to look that way anyway. Is this all bad to say?
No, it's not bad to say. I mean, that's how you look at yourself. I think some people would disagree with you. I think there's some people that probably find you more attractive.
No, not Margot Robbie. I'm sorry, but she's
Margot
like,
Robbie looks completely different to you, so there's going to be somebody out there that finds you more attractive.
It is completely different, and that's what I'm saying. It is subjective to your personal preference and taste in men. I might look at someone like Justin Bieber and think he's good looking, and someone else might look and go, but there's no denying that he's a good looking guy, and he might be a lot better looking than some other guys who are a bit more average looking, whether that's your taste or not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying here? So it's in beauty pageants. There's a lot of women in there who are going head to head, but it is full of beautiful women, and it is full of a lot of the more higher ranked women. That's how they got in there in the first place. And it just has to come with that acceptance that we're not all going to look a certain way. And it's not to put other women down, but it's just something I've had to come to terms with, accepting that it's just the way life goes. Like, we all look different. Not to try and make this all like soppy, but the quote that I really like is, sunsets and flowers are both beautiful, but they look nothing alike. So it's not to say you need to compare yourself and say you're not beautiful, because you probably are, but there just does come with that acceptance of, there is just, I don't know, women who are like Marilyn Monroe, for example. She was like a big icon back in the day. She was like one of the most beautiful women. There's a lot of people who aren't going to look like Marilyn Monroe, and you just have to accept that.
I just find it weird. I mean, those are all good points, but I do find it weird that she keeps on saying we're pitting women against each other. That's what you do in competition, dummy. You pit people against each other. Someone loses, someone wins. That's it. This is not men being misogynistic, throwing women into some mandingo bullfight like two pit bulls and seeing who comes out on top for us to put on a pedestal as the most beautiful woman in the world, and that's all she's worth. It's competition. These girls entered because they wanted to.
Yeah.
Talking out of your ass.
Going back to the whole overarching point of these women are choosing to be there and they're not feeling a certain way about it. I'm so hot.
All right, relax. You're blowing smoke up your
Are
own
you
ass.
not? No, I'm just really hot.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're so hot.
No, I'm hot.
I was like, wow, talk about pompous.
Like, I'm really hot.
And not to men.
So you can only be in a beauty pageant if you wear head-to-toe clothing that covers all your flesh. This sounds like something out of North Korea or Saudi Arabia.
Themselves. No. Beauty pageants in and of themselves are a symbol of sexism. I'm not suggesting banning them. I'm not suggesting locking up those that organise them or profit from them, such as Donald Trump, of course, that well-known pro-feminist man who owned Miss Universe. The stories about the sexual harassment, sexual assault, and terrible treatment of women in these pageants have been circulating for decades.
Okay, look,
and we mustn't forget all of the reports from women about what happens to them during these pageants.
Let me go to someone who won Miss USA and Miss Universe, Sarah Rose Summers. Sarah, you've been laughing away listening to this because apparently you're a tormented victim, and this is demeaning and sexist and male
I didn't
pigs
say that.
like. Well, you basically implied that it's only men like me who are, being sexist pigs for watching it.
That.
Well, okay. You implied it was a male issue because men are objectifying women like Sarah. So, Sarah, did you feel? Well, Sarah, did you feel objectified and a victim?
I did not. I think it's just so important in this feminist female empowerment movement that we support each other's dreams and goals and aspirations, and no one ever forced me to compete.
Damn, look at Sarah go. She's one fine lady.
In Miss Nebraska USA, Miss Universe. That was something I chose to do, and I started competing in pageants without a swimsuit competition. back when I was just 10 years old, I was super shy. It brought me public speaking skills, interview skills, taught me confidence, how to hold myself on a stage and in a swimsuit. And long term, I believe the swimsuit competition is a positive for Miss contestants specifically, because it really did teach me a healthy lifestyle. It taught me to long term sustain. You know, I never neglected my sweet tooth. I love my sweets, but I found ways I enjoyed moving my body. And that's not something that came natural to me either. I think that's so important. When people hear that I'm pro swimsuit competition, they instantly think, oh, well, you know, look at you. You don't have to work for it by any means. Well, that is completely false. Genetics have definitely been against me. I've watched my mom yo-yo diet her whole life. And so I knew firsthand that I wanted to be proactive and stay fit. So I.
All right, let me just stop it there. I have a little bit of a problem with something she just said. Did she just say that she was competing in swimsuit competitions from the age of 10? Did I hear that wrong?
No. She's been doing beauty pageants since the age of 10.
What beauty pageants do they do for 10-year-olds?
They do them.
That's fucked up as well. What? 10-year-olds?
It's not. Have you ever seen a film called Little Miss Sunshine?
It sounds familiar, but I hope not. Is it about this?
Yeah, it's so sad. But it's not as messed up as you think, you know.
Oh, let's have a little look. I hate typing this into my phone.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old pageants. Is that how you say it? Pageants?
Pageant, yeah, we're getting there.
I ain't down with that. That's all. I didn't know they were doing them that young. That's crazy to me. That's mad. The picture I just saw on Google, that's just on Google. I typed that shit into my search bar. FBI's going to come looking for me. Do you know what I typed in? Beauty pageants for 10-year-olds. Because that can't be a thing. And it came up. And they're in like... I won't even say
At least you got evidence it was for a YouTube video if the police come for you.
Yeah, for real. If they start knocking on my door, I better have this uploaded in time. They're going to be asking questions.
Enjoy workout classes and things of that nature. So for myself and most everyone, it's a very close-knit group of women. You know, we're all very like-minded. We have big, lofty goals and are very philanthropic focused. So some of my best friends I've met through pageantry, and I would say that all of us would unanimously agree that the competitions that are in Miss USA, Miss Universe have only strengthened our confidence.
Okay, I like that, and I think that's...
For consenting adults, I have no issue with this at all. I don't think there should be anything below the age of 18. That's just me personally. Beauty pageant should be for 18 plus women. If you're 18 plus and someone's not put a gun to your head, then I don't see what the issue is. I have no issue with it at all.
Exactly what my feedback has been. I've actually judged one of these things. Miss UK, I think it was.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a wonderful...
Now, my judges panel...
Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful...
My judges panel was fully made of women as well.
Right. I mean, I just thought it was a celebration of feminist empowerment, frankly. Ivana, you are not exactly shy. We see a lot of you on your Instagram. And you're wearing, I think, your swimsuit as we speak. What do you make of this? I mean, do you think there's any merit to the argument that perhaps it is a bit demeaning for women to, in a beauty pageant, have to wear swimsuits?
Dear peers, I cannot even think. I cannot believe in 2023 we're discussed about this. I am a bikini owner of SUC. And first of all, bikini is part of life. Even every grandpa has a bikini. Guys wearing bikini. Why guys are not sexualized to wearing men's shorts? It's totally different. Men can be hormonal crazy about women wearing completely leggings and covered. It doesn't need to be bikini for sexualism, you know. He can say, oh, this girl is hot, even full dress. It's how we behave and how we allow guys to behave with us. If I say, hey, I don't care about your hormones, I'm wearing bikini and I want to be respected, I'm respected. And girl who is coming to a competition for Miss World, she need to be confident and she don't care about guy who is thinking with hormones. I don't think this girl should even be in the competition.
Guy thinking with hormones, that's hilarious. I get her point. I didn't understand what she was saying in the beginning, but I think I get it now.
What's your opinion on that? Because she's saying I could wear a bikini, but if I want to be respected, I have to be respected. But there does come the argument of a lot of men tend to say that if a woman's dressed in a certain way, then she needs to expect a certain type of attention.
Yeah, she should expect a certain type of attention. There are going to be a certain level of men that disrespect her because of her line of work, and she should be aware of that. And there's going to be a certain type of man that doesn't care that she is in the bikini competitions. It's like I said before, when we did that Ethan Klein video, if you're happy with your girlfriend doing that, then you're happy with your girlfriend doing that. That's your relationship. But if you're not happy with your girlfriend doing that, first of all, I don't know why you would date one of them. And secondly, you would have already had that discussion in within the confines of your relationship. So it's dependent on the person. But again, this is like a Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss England competition. Don't really know what people are expecting here. It's again the same with the bodybuilding. We're not going to throw towels over the bodybuilders. We've got to see everything apart from their dick and balls. That's the whole point of it, because we have to see every single inch of them that has been worked out. I think this conversation is just stupid. It shouldn't even be. I don't know why these women have an issue with it. This woman over here from North London, she's not. It's not even like she would ever enter a competition like this. She's not a part of this world.
Because if she's shy and she's afraid to be sexualized, then this poor girl should be in a living room and watch on TV screen.
I completely agree. Let me bring Julie back. Julie, isn't this the point? You don't have to enter these things. They are a competition. I used to judge Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent. We'd have all sorts of people on with all sorts of talents. No one was forcing them to be there. There's no gun to these young ladies' heads. They're on it because they want to show off their beauty. And last time I checked, we are allowed to celebrate the beautiful female form, as indeed we are to celebrate the beautiful male form. I mean, you're looking at it.
I had your producer told me that I would be debating with two women about this, I would have chosen not to come on the programme, because I will not argue with women about the choices they make. My argument is against the men that set these conventional beauty standards, that impose these standards on girls and women growing up, most of whom feel that they are being judged and that they are being demeaned.
They've literally just said the complete opposite.
More or less than their own
Julie,
beauty
I think,
standards.
honestly, I say this with great
the competitiveness between women is...
I think this is a bit disingenuous, because I could ask you, for example, if they called you up and said, Sabi, we want you to go and compete in some Miss whatever, and you said yes, and this woman started rattling off this nonsense. She's basically saying that you don't have agency, you don't have the wherewithal or the capacity to say no, that you've basically been brainwashed by men. So she's essentially saying that women are just the puppets of men and we pull the strings whenever we want. And that's what's happened here. And any girl that goes into a beauty competition where we're looking at conventional beauty, small waist, big boobs, nicely shaped bum, like conventionally pretty face, you've been brainwashed by a man if you go into that competition. So you can't, so women have no agency is basically what you're saying. Because again, nobody put a gun to their heads. Nobody told them to enter. So the only way this could make sense is if all of these women have been brainwashed. All of them. Not a single one that enters that competition has any agency or the ability to say, wait, hold on a second. Men are putting us out there to compete against each other like pit bulls for the gaze of other men. No one's thinking that apart from you, apart from the person that has no business being anywhere near a beauty competition.
I think with issues like this, it's a form of projecting. So something I've realized recently is that when you have issues with certain things in life that doesn't really concern you, it's you projecting because of your own personal deeper insecurities. So let's say was insecure in the way that they look, they're going to have issues with things like this because they're insecure, so they're projecting. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Instead of doing the work to fix yourself, you project on others because they have what you don't.
Yeah, like let's say me and you were talking and I've got deeper insecurities about guys who have stopped talking to me before. I might be like, oh, Michael, you're probably going to stop talking to me next week. That's projecting because of my past experiences, and I'm putting that on you, even though it's nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, it just seems a bit weird that her, of all people, would be going after these women in this way. But I don't know. Maybe she was
I don't think it's coming from a bad place. I think it is coming from a place of her wanting life to be like, it's wanting to uplift women and make a lot of women not feel so, I don't know, what's the word? Superior, inferior? What is it when you feel? Yeah, I think it's definitely coming from a place of care and wanting that sort of good thing for women.
Yeah, but the only way...
So I don't look at this as a negative, but I also think it's true. It's a competition that people enter because that's what they want to do. And that's it. And I don't think it is... I don't think it is sexism, and I don't think it has been triggered because of men, these beauty standards, basically.
Yeah, I think it's both sides of the arm, male and female, set the beauty standards, and then we run with it. And if society wanted the beauty standards to shift, it would shift, because that would be the general consensus. But it's not. These two women on there fit the beauty standards that I would associate with the places they're from. That Miss USA literally looks what I would imagine America to look like if she was a woman. You know?
Yeah.
She looks like America, right?
Yeah.
That woman, I think she said she's Croatian.
I don't know.
It fits.
Mm-hmm.
It fits. Like, I just don't understand what the problem here is.
It's the worst thing possible when actually we need to stick together. So I wouldn't have chosen to come on the programme had I known I was debating with these two women, because my argument isn't with them, it's with the men that uphold these standards.
Right, but what you're conveniently ignoring is we've had two women who've taken part in these pageants who both say that there's no problem. The women all enjoy being on it. They'd like a bit of friendly competition. They're all supportive of each other. They don't feel remotely bothered about men objectifying them, because as many women watch it as men. I really don't see what the problem is.
And there are thousands and thousands of testimonies from women all over the world since the 1960s that have been in beauty pageants that talk about hideous misogynistic treatment by men, where they talk about rape and sexual assault, sexual harassment, and being thrown away and discarded once they get to the age of 27, which is the age limit, and being told that they're over the hill. So there are stories that we haven't heard tonight, and I would tell your viewers, maybe go and do a little bit of Google research and have a look at the stories.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this then. How do you
tonight.
feel then about public beaches, high streets where women march around?
That same argument can be applied to most forms of media around the world. There's always going to be people that abuse things. We see it in Hollywood, right? We see it in the music industry. I've even seen it in the gaming industry. There's always going to be bad actors who go in there and they abuse women or abuse guys or abuse their power and do things they don't like. But there's also going to be plenty of people that have a good time in those fields. I mean, we even hear about scandals here on YouTube. People go on podcasts expecting one thing to happen. Next thing they know, they're being given alcohol. And then all of a sudden, some craziness is going on. People do shitty things to each other. So, yeah, I agree. There probably is. And I've heard of bad stories in beauty pageants, but I've heard of plenty of women. I know women. I know one in particular that is sort of involved in this world. And she seems to have a great time. So it's not fair to sort of paint it in that way. It's fair to acknowledge it. But I don't, again, there's a lot of girls that are happy to do it. They are more than happy. And a lot of them that come out of it saying they had a great time. I don't like the fact that she's saying she won't talk to women, because women are the ones that are going into it. You're not going to be able to change the minds of the people at the top. They run the business. They make all the money. The way the business will change is if the people on the ground, which are the women that are going in there to basically facilitate it, because nobody's going to watch if there's no women there, those are the ones you should probably be speaking to. And if you're speaking to them and they're saying we ain't got a problem with it, the problem is with you. No one's saying that there's not a graping problem or anything that goes on in multiple forms of media, but I don't think your approach is going to work, especially when you're being dismissive.
And in bikinis, especially.
My issue isn't with nakedness or nudity. My issue is with the value placed upon women competing with each other for who has the perfect in the eyes of sexist men that judge women by their looks,
come off it.
body,
Honestly, I've
and
got to
physique.
say, Julie,
my issue is not with nakedness.
Julie, I think it's such a lame thing to say that it's just sexist men that watch these things. They don't. I know loads of women who love watching beauty pageants and admiring the beauty, as they do, by the way, when they buy women's magazines and see beautiful women on the cover, often very famous.
I don't want to hold women up.
No, you don't want to blame any women for anything. It's all ugly men like me. It's my fault.
For sexism.
Listen, we've got to end it there, but I make no apology. Julie, I make no apology for admiring the beautiful female form, including yourself and my two other guests.
And I wouldn't ask you to, Piers.
I know. I'm just offering my appreciation of Miss North London. Is that okay?
And Julie, I think it's important to note, like I had said earlier, that my panel of judges was solely women that were successful in their industry. So I wasn't strutting my stuff up there, answering on-stage questions to men, as you keep mentioning. Thankfully, I do believe
I would say, though,
look,
we've got to leave it there, Sarah, but I would say, honestly, Sarah Rose, I would say, just because men like watching beauty pageants doesn't make us all a bunch of sexist pigs. You can appreciate a beautiful woman in the most non-sexist manner
I never used the
possible.
term pig.
You could just say you like beauty.
Term pig.
I admire beauty. I like it in all guises. I like a beautiful Arsenal football player as much as I admire a beautiful woman at a beauty pageant. Thank you, Julie. We've reached a point of agreement, I think, or at least acknowledgement. I'm allowed to like beautiful things. Lovely to speak to all three of you. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, look, I think
that was a mad thing to say.
I know. I understand where this lady's coming from. I get the overarching point that she's trying to make, but it is true. It's not always, majority of the time, it's not been men judging it. It has been women. And I think what Piers is saying is true. It's okay to admire someone's beauty. And it's like, regardless of whether you're doing beauty pageants or not, men are going to look at women and they're always going to appreciate a woman's beauty. That doesn't mean that they're doing anything. That doesn't mean they're acting on it. But married men in relationships, they're always going to look at another woman and just think, yeah, she's pretty or whatever. Yeah, she's got a nice body. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it would be more strange if somebody didn't.
They admire you in the comment section. Oh, I'm going to do a quick zoom in on your face. Give him your best angle.
Michael, don't.
Give him a big smile. But yeah, my problem with what she was saying is that she was not willing to engage with women, who I would think you probably need to engage with, because men, like you said, men are always going to look at beautiful women and men are going to tune in to look at those beautiful women.
Yeah.
But if you have a real big problem with it, don't you think you should talk to the people that you're claiming are indoctrinated into this sexist cult of pigs that just want to watch them on TV? I can't take her seriously if she's not going to listen to these women. She's basically saying, I ain't got nothing to say to you guys, even though you're saying that you enjoy it. I'm just going to talk to these sexist guys over here, even though you know that women tune in to watch these shows.
It is more women as well.
It's predominantly
men don't
women.
really care to watch girly shit like that.
I have never watched a Miss Universe.
Can I show you a funny video though, whilst we're on the topic?
Not once in my life have I've seen highlights of them. I have never tuned in to one of those shows. I have no interest in them whatsoever. I know they go on stage and they say a bunch of things. They ask them some questions. Some of them say really stupid things. Some of them say more heartfelt or insightful things.
Sorry. Go on, continue.
I lost my train of thought.
Albania! Beijinho! Feliz! Brazil! The British Virgin Islands! Colombia! Costa Rica! Denmark! Indonesia! Italy! Kosovo! Lebanon! Panama! Venezuela!
Did you not find that funny?
Not even a little bit. We'll put it up. Let's see if we
I
find
find
it
it
funny.
hilarious.
He just...
Yeah, but his like impersonations, they were just funny, and I find that it was just like spot on. When he done the miserable girl, like that was so funny. But you see what I'm saying? You're watching that beauty pageant for you're not really interested to watch it.
I don't care about
As
beauty
a man.
pageants. I could not care less. I do want to see what Miss Japan looks like. She's like take her home to mum pretty. Anyway, I don't care about beauty pageants. But if girls want to walk around bikinis on them, I don't really see what the problem is. I mean, what else are we watching it for? What else are we watching them for? Just to see how hot the girls are. Otherwise,
not just in a bikini though.
Yeah, and
you're just admiring overall beauty.
Yeah, the bikini is just one of the outfits they wear.
And I tell you something as well. Do you know how hard it is to do a catwalk? That shit is hard.
You done a catwalk?
No, I haven't done one, but have I tried to do a catwalk? That shit is hard.
Just in your bedroom?
No, not in my bedroom. In the living room. But it's like it's not easy. So when you see people walking on a catwalk strutting their stuff, like that's talent.
Anyway, I don't really have much more to say on this. The Northern London woman was just mostly chatting over us. And Piers was kind of annoying again because he kept talking over her. I was just like, Piers, just let her talk. This is what I wanted to say.
Piers doesn't let people speak. Like, as soon as somebody starts making a point or something that he feels like he can't bounce back off, he just cuts them off.
Yeah, he should have let her talk because she. The thing is, I don't think she made a single point that I would really even agree with. And I wanted to hear how far she was going to go with it, but Piers kept cutting her off again, which... Like I said at the beginning, I do like Piers, but he needs to stop doing that shit.
He needs to let people talk and get their points across, because it's like he makes these people look dumb because he's not giving them a chance to actually make their point. So then they look like they don't know what they're talking about. That woman, I can tell, has a lot to say.